requirement that independent schools participate. And then of the independent schools participating, I would say that I think the only ones that are still charging for meals are a handful of Catholic schools. That the remainder of the independent schools that are participating in the school meals program are offering, I'm sorry, a handful of religious schools. There's United Christian Academy up in northern Vermont offers the program, but doesn't participate in universal meals either. I certainly could do an analysis of number of students served by those schools, but I don't have it offhand.
So I understood that the Christ the Kings, that the only students that were eligible for the free meals were the ones that were tuition. Is that not correct?
I don't know what Christ the King decided or why.
Rosie? I think it was Rice actually. Remember Mr. Young came in and said universal meals are not universal because.
Right.
So yeah, that was pretty compelling.
Yeah, so all of the Catholic schools have been really vocal in their disappointment about this. So the way that it works is for state-approved independent schools, they are eligible to receive the Universal Meal Supplement if they offer free meals to all of their students. And then they'll only receive the Universal Meal Supplement for the students who are publicly tuitioned. They will still receive the federal reimbursement for all of their students. So they get that small subsidy for the paid students, and then they get the full federal reimbursement for the free students. And they actually still get the state reduced price supplement. So if a student qualifies for reduced price meals and attends one of those schools, they get free meals as well. At independent schools where many students are both paid and not publicly tuitioned, then it's on the school to come up with those funds. And they've made the decision that that's too much for them. And so that they're not going to do that. And so then they have the option of continuing to participate in the program as a pricing program where they charge for meals.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Or not participating at all.
Yeah, Senator Weeks.
Yeah, second question. Just as a reminder, is the 30 million or 29 million, is it coming out of the ed fund or the general fund, and its impact on the current property tax increase that we're evaluating?
So it comes out of the education fund. I couldn't speak to the impact on the property tax increase.
I believe that number could be in the information Julie gave us. I think it's there. I think.
I believe it is. And so the 30 million is it's 30 million out of 200 million. It's roughly 200. So 15% of the property tax bonds. Okay, that helps. Thank you. I just couldn't remember if it was general fund or education.
And again, we are projecting that to be lower. I think Julia put in 26.5, which again was our very conservative estimate. We think it's going to be lower than that, but we're just not sure how much yet.
Thank you.
You say you're Julia Richter?
I think she incorporated 26.5 for FY25.
Okay. Thank you.
But again, I'd love for you to bring her in to talk about that because that's not really my hat. So.
Any other questions for Ms. Kruger or Ms. Horton at this point?
Could I just add on a little bit? First, I do want to say that really Rosie and the team at the Agency of Education have done an extraordinary job of implementing this Act 64 and of thinking through all of the different ways to carry out that implementation such that more federal funds can be leveraged going forward. And so I do want to just publicly really acknowledge that the smoothness of that implementation been very important and very valuable for the state and for taxpayers, and the agency really
And is
deserves
Congress still
credit for
debating
that.
this? Congress was considering this at one point, post or during the pandemic, and it just didn't happen.
I would say that Congress is debating very little. And the child nutrition program right now, and the child nutrition programs have their own bill, and that reauthorization has just been, basically, they just kicked the can down the road on that. There's no indication that they're taking up reauthorizing that bill anytime soon, and it would have to be opened up in order for any change to be made. So I think as more and more states, there are campaigns, state level campaigns for universal school meals in dozens of states right now across the country. So 8 states have moved to statewide universal school meals in a permanent model, as Vermont has done, but dozens of other states have active campaigns. So ultimately, I think we will get to a federal universal school meals program. But I do not know when that will be. So I would also like to just circle back on what Rosie said about summer and after school meals. So we do have a real opportunity starting this coming summer to dramatically expand. Our calculation is that it's going to be at least 80 towns that have never before, except during the pandemic, been eligible to provide free summer and after school meals to students, are going to be eligible, and it could be even more towns than that. So that's thousands of children in Vermont of all ages, not just school age, who could have the opportunity starting this summer to have access to free breakfasts and lunches in their communities this coming summer. So we're partnering very closely with the Agency of Education to maximize the uptake of that opportunity by Vermont communities, and we're really excited about that. And that's another way to leverage federal funding and make sure that kids are fed year-round. That is linked to the decision to enact a universal school meals law. So,
Great.
That's it. Unless you have other questions.
Anything else before we shift to driver's ed? Just kidding.
It's like,
No, I gotta go. Just kidding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.